So, welcome to another Coffee and Coatings. So, this time we're going to talk about paint corrections, and I'm with my friends at Farecla. So, I'm Richard Jennings, work for AkzoNobel. You may see in a few videos, Global Technical Service Manager, and I'd like to introduce you to my new friend.
So, I'm Roman Osterman, and I work for Farecla. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. So, what we're going to do, Roman, today is what we want to talk about is paint correction. But first of all, I think it's probably a good idea just to introduce Farecla and what you guys are about.
Sure, yes. So we are specialized in finishing compounds and polishing compounds. Our systems are quite simple to use.
Yeah.
What we like to do is have very simple processes. So one product with one pad, usually quite easy to use and saving time. And having great results. So trying to keep things very, very neat. Our products are water-based as well.
It's pretty important, guys, this day and age. So yeah,
exactly.
Bear that in mind. The carrier is water on these.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll give it a go and show you what we are capable of doing on your repairs.
Okay. So what we're going to do today, I think, and if it's okay with you, I know we sort of talked about it a little bit. I've brought two products that we've sprayed out. And we've got Allcraft 3000, the new acrylic from AkzoNobel. We've got it in a solid colour. And then what we're going to do is work on a panel here where we've got base coat and clear, Roman. And just for everyone's benefit, I've been very kind and I've been asked to put some defects in the panel. This is not judging my painting. So we put a run in there to show how we work it. Thought it'd be interesting just to show a gloss reading, right? Because Roman, you would measure gloss.
So you would tend to measure it before and after, obviously, because what you're trying to do is retain some of the gloss and no haze, obviously. So it's always good to have a reading before and after.
Yeah, a lot of people do it by eye, but there's a piece of equipment that I've got here that will show you what the gloss readings are, what the haze is, what the DOI is. And for those that don't know about DOI, it's distinction of image. So it's how does it reflect back at you. So it's almost like getting that perfect image back. So what I'm going to do here, just for your benefit, see, this is the new Allcraft 3000, which people might be interested to see. Let's take a quick measurement. What are the key ones on here? 90.8, so nearly 91 gloss units. Distinction of image at 98.6, so really, really good reflection on this. Looks pretty awesome. And zero haze. So this is off the gun. So really good for you guys to see. Solid colour, looks amazing. Okay, guys, so we've swapped the panel over. So the one that Roman's going to work on today, this is a base coat and clear system. So this is SE, which is the base coat system. And then it has a clear coat over the top. This is Allcraft 3000. But what I thought maybe a good idea is definitions, right? Because I think some people there's lots of different terms out there. So I think for anyone watching this, AkzoNobel, they've written a manual and they've got some definitions. And Roman, if you want to step in and argue with that, please do.
No issues at all. Yeah.
So what we've got, guys, we've got repair. When you do a repair, complete repair, that's when you're adding additional paint. That's the surface is so damaged that you're going to have to sand it and repaint it. Okay, but then when you come into the paint correction side, which may be after repair of blending a top coat or oxidation or something, there's some different terminology. So what we've got on the terminology, we've got sort of paint correction, 3 steps, I would say.
Yes, completely right. Yeah, 3 steps.
So buffing.
So buffing. So people say buffing. We call that polishing. So that's the main 2 words that you'll hear.
Yeah. So we've got there's like buffing, polishing, sealing, but they can have a different meaning.
Different meaning, and it's a different stage as well. So when you're talking compounding or buffing, that's the first stage where you're actually removing most of the defect or the sanding defect, or it could be oxidation, as you said.
Yeah. So
that's your first step.
Yeah. So just to sort of add to that, guys, buffing is it's a liquid compound with an aggregate in there. So you're removing oxidation or taking the scratch out. When you're polishing, I think this is where people get confused, because people call polish, they say I'm polishing my car,
Yes.
or I'm polishing my boat. And for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is where we sort of want to get the definition, is that polishing, for those you sort of thinking, well, it's when you put a wax on. For us, it's not. This is when you're using a very fine compound, like a hologram remover, something like that, to get rid of very small
some
marks.
process marks as well, because bear in mind your first stage is also very aggressive sometimes, but it's putting process marks. So if you're using like a wool pad like that, you're going to put process marks in the process. So you need a second step.
Yeah, hold that thought, because hopefully we can show that. Process marks are really important for all of you watching. A process mark is a mark that's put in by your process of polishing. And you see so many people reworking the area, saying the scratch is still there, but they've actually got process marks in there. So I think hopefully Roman will show that. And then sealing or protection, that's the one that is your final coat. Now,
sacrificial layer, as you said.
Yeah, sacrificial layer. So this is the bit that goes on the vessel. So when you wash it, when you clean it, stuff's coming off.
Yeah.
It's a sacrificial layer that you may then sort of top up twice a year. Depends. Yeah, can be very different what environment your vessel's in, obviously. But All Grip in their range have All Care. That's a polymer polish. And that is a sacrificial layer. We've always said that it's a continual application. Yeah. So with that,
top it up. Yes, exactly that.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I'm going to take a quick slurp of my tea, and it really is tea in this one, for those of you who think I fake it. Real tea, hear me swallow. I just want to talk very quickly on gloss readings. We showed you earlier Allcraft 3000 solid, and there is a true fact that I think we sort of need to share, and this catches Roman out in what he does as well, because people work off a gloss reading. You need to be aware what we've given you today, and I've got Tom, the lovely Tom, behind the camera. I'm not sure if this is going to pick up. We'll try and put this in later, Tom, but this is a metallic. So we've got a lovely sort of beautiful metallic here. But what's really interesting, we remember earlier, Roman, do you remember earlier? What was it, 91-ish?
91,
it's
yes, correct.
It's 60 degrees. We measure 60 degrees in yacht. If I do this on a metallic, this is now reading at 101.1 on the gloss, showing lots of haze and DOI of 98. I'm now going to move on to the black section of the AkzoNobel logo. So no metallic flake is what I'm trying to show you here, guys.
It's just because of the metallic flakes, which are right?
So it's reflecting back. Basically, it's putting the beam of light in, and it reflects back and gives you a different reading.
It's like a false reading.
Now,
right?
No haze.
Yes.
Really important for Roman here, because people are going to be in it. Still hazy. You can't polish it out. Not true. It's probably because it's a metallic. 98.9 on the DOI, and the gloss a little bit higher than the solid at 92.7, but fantastic gloss. So guys, don't trip over it, because you are never going to get a correct reading with a gloss meter off a metallic. It's going to muck with your haze, it's going to muck with your gloss. Okay. So, Roman,
excellent. This
is where we have to make it real.
Exactly.
So what we're going to do, we're going to polish, or I'm going to sand out the run. And of course, when I'm sanding out the run, I'm going to use a piece of equipment. Now, I'm going to talk about the piece of equipment because this offers confusion in polishing and cleaning. And I'm going to say orbital or DA. They're the same thing. When a DA is working, dual action sander, or an orbital, they oscillate, they rotate and they oscillate, so they have a throw. And sometimes on the polisher or the sander, it might tell you what the throw is. So in the sanding world, 2.55. In the polishing world,
it's
12.
Yeah, well, up to 15.
Up to 15. So bigger orbit in polishing. Rotary, it just spins, okay?
Like this one, pretty much.
So, and they
just
will
like
offer, Roman, I think I'm right, this is where he's going to correct me, But one is slightly more aggressive than the other.
First is the gear you're using, right? So rotary will always be more aggressive than DA. So you see that in the detailing world, like car industry or even boat refits, they'll sometimes use some DA machines just to do like small minor repairs. It's very gentle. You're not going really through the paint. This is like a proper machine. It's giving you a lot more cuts.
A lot more power.
And more cutting power, because also you're using that with different applicators which are more aggressive.
Yeah.
On this type of machine.
And that's interesting. So what we're going to do, we're going to, as I say, we're going to sand the run out that we have put in there on purpose, and it's across. You've seen earlier now from the inlay, it's across the beautiful Farecla logo. Just a little bit of paint here, guys. SE, the base coat. You can do multicolours in one day. You can use logos. So we had this made up for our friends here. So this was all achieved in one paint shoot, which is really good to know on your vessels, that you can do multicolours, bury it in clear coat, then you can sand and rework and polish. So you can lose all the transition lines as well.
So we've just sanded the panel, Richard. So can you just walk us through the steps and what you did?
I can. But first, we need to talk about paint technology very quickly. What is and isn't repairable? Because we haven't done that bit. So very quickly, AkzoNobel offer polyester urethane top coat, affectionately known as G-line. That is not repairable. I know some of you out there are going to argue with me, and they will, Roman, they will argue with me. And have I repaired it before? Yes, I have. But in the sanding stage, if you damage it or cut through the resin bed, you're exposing the pigments, and it's what I call a continual maintenance repair. You're going to have to keep polishing it. You're going to have to keep putting a sealer on it. Whereas Allcraft 3000 and HDT are truly repairable. You can sand them, and then you can go through your compound. So sanding wise, what I've done, and Tom, thank you Tom, by the way, has come in and done some beautiful shots of the Farecla logo where we blocked the run out. I can still feel a little bit of the run, but we blocked the majority of the run out, and we'll show you later. And what we've done, we've gone through the grades. So I started with 1500, and I concentrated that on the area that I wanted to flat. Then once I've done that, I then go and go slightly wider with my sanding. I use 2000
to blend it.
To blend it. And then I finished with 3000, and again I came out a bit further. So you're feathering the repair. But what you're also doing, I think you're going to pick up on this, you're removing the process marks, because if I don't sand it enough with my 2000 over what I've done with my 1500, I can still have scratch profile in there.
Yes, of course.
And those are the, I mean, I call them pigtails. You get these little
and
swirls.
Well, also it depends on how clean your abrasive is. You know, if you're not you know, if
Yeah,
you've got dust
if it
trapped in your abrasive as well, that
Exactly.
can happen as well. So
I think the key thing is for everyone here, we really have cleaned this down now. So Roman's going to go through a demonstration of the compounds to use. So what we're going to do, I'm going to hand over to Roman. So we're going to swap round. You're going to get to see my best side. Both sides are terrible. And Roman's going to go through the compounding process.
excellent. Let's do it.
Over to you, sir.
Excellent. Okay, so first thing when I'm thinking about polishing compounds is what is the right product to work on that substrate and on that panel. So that's what comes in mind first. So that's a product we're going to be using today, Profile 350. And then with each product, you've got multiple choice when it comes to the applicators you can use, right? So you can either use a twisted wool pad, or lamb's wool, like this one, or different foams, from our yellow foams to our black foams.
Roman, can I jump in? Right, because I started in the world of G3 years ago, and that's all we ever used in a foam pad. But am I right in saying that even the mop head, like you talked about earlier about you've got your dual action sander,
and you've got different machines, obviously, yes,
and your rotary sander, and you said the rotary sander is I don't know if aggressive is the right word, but it
will give you more cut. Yes, obviously, rotary always gives you more cut, and DA gives you less cut but a better finish.
Okay.
So it's always a trade-off between the two systems.
And then you've got the same with your mop heads, right? So you've got twisted wool, lamb's wool. These all have a different cut profile as well.
To make it simple for you, in order from most aggressive, less finish. This one is the most aggressive, followed by this one, followed by this one, followed by this one. So they're aggressive, not aggressive, low finish, best finish.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Obviously, we can share with everyone the best process. So, reach out to your local TSR from AkzoNobel or to Farecla directly, and we can tell you what systems work with what paints. But I think it's really important for you guys to know is that you can destroy a paint job using the wrong equipment, whether it be compound, whether it be polishing head, or whether it be machine. And the worst thing is also us as humans behind it. Roman will talk through the amount of pressure that you would apply when polishing.
Sure.
Roman, you've just done the first stage of the process, following the sanding, using the 350 with the lamb's wool wool head. So do you just want to? It'll show on the video hopefully that what Roman's doing, but you just want to talk it through because I saw you had a little tool here.
It's very, very important, guys, to just keep your pads clean. So every here and there, when the pad is getting a little bit clogged, with a little bit too much compound, what I tend to do is just give it a good spin, put the brush and just remove all the excess of compound on the pad. So it's just general maintenance to do on your pads, and it's just making sure that the pad is going to last a bit longer as well.
You said something that made me a question because I was watching you. The compounds, the amount you use initially is different, right? Because what was the terminology you gave it?
So I on the first use of your pad, when the pad is brand new, I tend to use twice as much as I would normally use.
So it's almost like you're sort of priming.
Yes, you're priming your pad. That's exactly the term. Yeah.
Okay. So what did you do there on camera? What we saw? So you were using the lamb's wool. You primed it.
Put a bit of product on the pad because it was new. Put a bit of product on the panel, and then just started working on it for, let's say, roughly 1 minute.
Yeah.
And what I did was literally just put minimal pressure because our products, bear in mind, are designed to work with minimal pressure. We don't want to put loads of pressure because you're creating heat, as you know, especially on paints, which is a no-go.
Yeah.
Right? So worked on that for a minute, and the last 10-15 seconds, what I tend to do is absolutely no pressure. I just leave the weight of the machine on the panel, and that's improving the gloss, removing the haze as well.
Roman, what you're going to do now is the final step?
Yes, exactly, because what you want is, at the end of the day, get your gloss back to what it was, and also have limited haze, right?
Yeah.
With that first cutting stage, because that's what we've done, we've removed all the sanding marks, but it's not perfect, so we need a second stage to get rid of these process marks.
Yeah.
Make sure you're increasing your gloss and remove a little bit more haze as well.
And when we were off camera, it's a term I'm going to use a lot that Roman used and I love. You called it process marks.
Yeah.
So we put the torch on the surface. I think Tom's going to help us get a shot in there, but you can actually see slightly fine scratch marks, and that's not from the paper necessarily. We've removed those process marks. This is from the lamb's wool. So now you're effectively going a finer grade. Yes. Finer grade with a less abrasive cutting head as well, right?
Exactly. So we use a finishing foam and a finishing compound all together.
Okay. So let's go through that process, and then what I'm going to try and do for everyone is measure the gloss and the haze to show that we can bring it back to its original luster. So we've gone through the second and final process on this now.
Exactly, which was to remove some of the process marks left from the first step, which was the compounding and cutting step. So we had to actually do that second step to get a perfect finish, get rid of these process marks, and then improve the gloss to what it was before. So we've used our finishing compound, which is 700. You see that it's a grey cap, and our finishing foam, which is a black foam 8-inch.
Which is sort of I call it waffled. But
Yeah.
is that to get rid of heat, or is it surface area, or?
That's right, and also what it does, it makes the pad a little bit more stable. You know, when you're polishing, so you'll feel that the pad is not really draggy, or it will be very nice to use.
Yeah. So it's easier to move across the
100%.
surface without it gripping and dragging.
Exactly that.
So, Roman, Tom is kindly going to put some camera footage in up close. So we've shown that we've removed the run. We've then put you some further gloss readings on there. And what I certainly wanted to showcase for both of us really is that it is possible to bring the product back to its original gloss and luster. There is a however, Roman, right? We've put some different numbers on there for you guys to see. And the however is that the more you work it, you can increase the gloss, but sometimes you can affect the haze, and the haze number can go up. Probably not visible by the naked eye, but if someone's using special equipment to measure with, they might mention that the haze has gone up.
It will go up by a few points, yeah. Definitely.
And I think what we wanted to say, because we've broken for lunch, by the way, what we wanted to say and we found very interesting is that us, as in the person on the mop, can affect the gloss and the haze, even using the same equipment, depending on how we use it. So Roman, you very much you become lighter on your.
Yeah, it's down to the pressure you're putting. So what I try to do is, again, you know, all our products have to be used with very gentle pressure. You don't want to lean too much on the pad.
Yeah.
So limited pressure, but I literally just keep it like with no pressure.
So it's almost just the weight of the machine.
Yeah,
really.
the last 10-15 seconds, it's only the weight of the machine, and I'm not really putting any more pressure than that. It's really increasing the gloss.
Yeah.
And the finish level. So it's, as you said, it's down to the skills of the applicator and the person using the products. Yes.
So in summary, for me, I've learnt loads, and thank you, because this is I've always enjoyed polishing, but maybe I haven't understood it as well as I might. So what's the summary? Sort of key factors for me are probably that you can get the gloss and luster back that you're looking for, and we've shown you that by measuring it. You know, it can look great to the eye, but you know we've shown it and measured it. There is a point, right, that certain paints aren't polishable and certain paints need a different process. This process that we've done today is for all craft.
Yes.
2 and 3,000.
Your HDT, for example, would be a very different process, as we discussed before.
So as we said, reach out to your local TSRs or to Farecla themselves. Roman is very, very knowledgeable and useful, like the rest of the business. So in short, we can achieve a better surface and profile using these types of systems. So if we've got dry spraying issues, we can flatten, polish it and bring it back up, so we can maybe save a paint job rather than having to repaint it. But we have a massive effect as the polisher.
Yeah, definitely.
So with that in mind, I'd like to thank you, sir.
Thank you, Richard.
It's been a great day. Yes. Really enjoyed it. I hope you guys have sort of enjoyed this, and it's shown you a little bit about what we're talking about. This is only the top of the iceberg. Bit of a saying there, might not translate to everyone, but there's a lot more to learn. As with an iceberg, there's a lot more under the water, there's a lot more to learn, but I hope it's shown you how to polish at least, and compound and repair, shown you that it is possible to bring paintwork back when it's repairable. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one.